This is Cyber Potato, and we're doing JavaScript today. So, we need to get some knowledge about JavaScript in order here. And just to remind you, as I said in the last episode, always remember to load your JavaScript at the very bottom before closing the body tag in HTML. And now let's start with deleting everything. So first thing we need to clear is variable stuff and constants. Actually, I'll be trying to write the JavaScript in its modern form, because actually it's not JavaScript, it's ECMAScript, and there are many versions of ECMAScript. The one that is used now in the industry is often ES6 or ES 2015 or 16, and there are some differences between them, and the truth is I'll be trying to stick into the newest versions as far as I can. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so yeah, let's start with actually writing a comment. So you can use // to write some text as a comment. It won't be compiled by your browser, and it won't be actual code running in JavaScript. It just sometimes we use it to add some information about our code. I'll be using it here to spread it, to section it somehow and describe what we are doing. So we can do 2 / and do one line comment, so comment in one line. If you'd like to do comment that spreads across a few lines, you do / and asterisk. Asterix is the guy from this French comics about Gauls, I think. Anyway, the star. Let's do that. And here you can point and write as many comments as you'd like. So you start with / and the star, and then you do the star and / to actually close the comment. Okay, so that's about comments. Okay, so what is variable? Variable is this entity in your code that can be used to store information about something. Okay, so for example, if I would like to store information about my name, I would write const, and this is special keyword saying that we will be declaring a variable called my name, and type something like that using double quotes to create variable of string type. So it's just a part of the text. Okay. Okay, and we can of course console log it by name. Okay, all nice and dandy. But let's say I've forgotten that I would like actually my name to be something else. For example, Wojciech Bilicki. So we'll add the surname to that. And now, what is this? It's our first error that we encounter. It has type error, assignment to constant variable. And you can see that it happened in line 7. So it's here. And why is that? Okay, so const is short for constant. And that means that once you declare the variable and assign by the equal sign some value to it, you can't change it. And you can think that this is some kind of nonsense because, well, it's a variable, so it varies, so I want to change it. But actually, there's this really important concept in programming called immutability, and it means that basically you shouldn't change stuff once they're given value. You should rather, if you'd like to manipulate it, you should rather copy it and not change the variable that it started with. And it's a very, very good approach, actually, because it's easier to reason about our code once we use stuff that is immutable and doesn't change and doesn't fluctuate so much. But from time to time, there can be situations where you actually need to manipulate the value of the variable. And you can do so by defining it with a let keyword. Okay? And the variables defined with let keyword can change, can have their value altered. So for example, if I say my age, for the time being I'm 28, but in April I'll turn 29. God, I'm old. Where all those good years went? Oh, where? Console log my age, and let's do that again here. Okay, and now I can see that there's no error, and this is because I declared my variable using let, and thus I can alter it. Okay, so let's move to variable types. Okay, JavaScript is a dynamically typed language, which is one of its greatest power, but sometimes this can become an issue. But we have some predefined types. So of course there's string, and this is some sentence. Okay, this is anywhere where would you like to put some text or name. What else? There's let's change it actually. Let's put our title to stay in the theme, and we'll call it, of course, back to the future. There's the integer variable, and these are numbers basically, but these are like a complete full numbers and not the factors. Okay, so for example, number of copies in store. Have 2 copies of that movie. Okay, then there's the float. So this is like the number with the dot, a factor of a number. For example, price for one EHS. It can be 45.99. So here I can specify a factor of a decimal number. Okay. Then there's this cool type of variable called Boolean, and it's used to express only two values, true or false. And it's often used to express some logic. For example, was our Back to the Future movie actually shown in cinemas? Was shown in cinemas. Okay, and I can say true. Yeah, it was. I believe so. Okay. Then there's another important type called an array, and it's a set of things. For example, we know that every movie has a cast, and the cast is a set of specific people that were playing in given movie. So I can say that actors or cast, and these were Michael, G. Fox, okay, and Christopher Lloyd, Leah Thompson, and Crispin Glover. Okay, so this is an array of things, and you can actually do a lot with that, but let's start with something simple like accessing an element of an array. And I can do that using the braces, these square braces, yes, and specifying something called an index. An index is a position of an element in an array. And what is very important and confusing for people who are starting with programming is that arrays are starting from 0. So it's not first position and first index, but rather position number 0, 1, 2, and of course 3. So if I would like to access Michael G. Fox here, I would have to specify a 0 here into the curly braces. Okay, and now I can see Michael G. Fox appearing here in our console. Okay, let's go. What else? I won't go into the methods into an array, but there are some things that you can do. Well, let's do this. Okay, so each and every array has set of functions available to it. So if I have some variable that I know is of array type, I can say something like this. Oh, well, actually I can just type dot and I can see whole lot of functions available. Okay, for example, if I would like to filter out some elements of the array that are too short, I could do something like this: filter, and then provide a function. Okay, this function gets each and every single entry as an argument, and it's being executed for every argument. So our function would execute 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And to filter stuff out, I have to return something. For example, actor, I know it's a string. I can take its length and say if the length is bigger than 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so now it will log only those actors that have their name longer than 15. Okay, and let's see about lots of memes. Okay, you didn't see that. Okay, now I can see that the array has length of 3 because we filtered out Leah Thompson because her length isn't greater than 13. Okay, and there's lots of stuff you can do with arrays, but we'll get there when we get there. Okay, another important type is actually an object. An object is set of key and value properties bundled up together. For example, what can be an object? Car is an object, right? Because it has a color of paint, it has number of doors and seats, it has some I don't know, the producer, the manufacturer name actually. And if we would like to bundle it up together in one entity, we would use an object. And declaring an object in JavaScript is actually pretty easy. We just do, for example, let's do review of our Back to the Future. And I would like to have it with two properties: the rating for the movie and the description. Okay, so I declare it, use it curly braces, and now I can say something like that. Description: it was great, because it is a great movie. And the rating is 10 out of 10. And as you can see, those so-called properties of an object can be of a different type. So this is number or integer type, and this is string type. Okay, now to access those, maybe you already know, yeah, I can do review.rating. Okay, and it should work. Yeah, it's here. It's here. Okay. So now, if we double back a little bit, you can see that the console is an object, and here we are using dot. That means log is actually a property of console object, and it's being a function. And yeah, of course we can do that, but I'll be talking about functions in the future. So let's stick to the variables right now. Of course, when you create an array, you can provide here any type you want. You can even have an array of objects. So let's do box office per country, and it's going to be an array. So let's start with square braces. Country name, let's do USA, and amount is gonna be lots of money. Okay, and then let's do country name Canada. amount, lots of money. Okay, let me just format it a little bit. Okay, so now we created an array of objects, and say I would like to access the amount of money that the movie got in Canada. So box office bar. Okay, now it makes sense. So to do that, box office in Canada, Canada. Oh yeah, I have to first take the second element from an array and then access its amount property. So I can do that with box office per country. Its second element, so the index is 1. And then I just say amount. Okay, and let's load this box office in Canada. Bam and bam, and we have it right here. And to help out, you can provide it with message here, box office in Canada. You can do something like that. So this function actually can take up to 2 arguments, and first, well, it's gonna be message added to the value you're logging. So yeah, we can do just that. Okay, whoa, okay, it took a little bit longer than I expected. So we'll finish here and we'll continue in the next one. Thank you very much. Bye.